My team and I have optimized over 1,000 blog posts this year, and I'm going to show you my step-by-step process on how to refresh an old, outdated page so that you can improve your SEO rankings. So we'll go through it step by step. Every single thing that you see on the screen here, you should be able to find it on my YouTube channel if you use the search bar, but this is for the benefit of my school community, so it's all in one spot. Okay, so each one of these actually links to a lesson inside of school where you'll be able to access each of the SOPs, the custom GPT scripts that will help you write all the content and find all the credible links and sources that you actually need to do the job faster. So before we actually get started, you'll need what's called a topical authority map. In any project management tool like ClickUp or Monday.com, you can actually list and organize all your pages and blog posts as a task. And then you can see date updated, the live URL, the topic, Google Ads versus fractional CMO versus digital marketing. These are all my kind of topics of expertise. And then the focus keyword, like what is this page or blog post actually trying to optimize for? And then you got the page type. So we've got a commercial page or a location page trying to sell services. And then we've got blog posts like a how blog post or a why, what versus or list blog post or case studies and resource pages, right? So you want to make sure that you've got all the pages on your website in this topical authority map so you can keep track of when it was updated last and whether or not it was actually optimized for like schema, metadata, internal links, external links, etc. So we're going to cover all of these in this video today. So if we go through here and open this one, this was last updated on the 26th of February, so quite a long time ago. We can see that it's optimizing for local service ads versus Google Ads, and then it's a versus style blog post, and we can see that it hasn't really been optimized for neuron writer score, which we'll touch on. It's saying that's not optimized for schema or internal links, external links. So we're going to cover all of these and see whether or not the metadata is even good enough. So I open that blog post, I'll scroll through quickly. It's got a key takeaways. It's got some links here already. It's got some custom images. It looks like a pretty good blog post, and you're thinking, well, how can I actually top this? It's already good. Well, the whole idea here is that we're meant to read through this and see which sections we can expand upon, improve, add better statistics, add better images, or add better metadata, etc. And also adding FAQs, which a lot of people don't know. You can actually add FAQs to the bottom of your blog post. All of these things will help you rank much higher in the search engine results page, and we're going to go through that now. So let's say that we got the first one on this list, which is the metadata outdated or bad for search intent. So what that means is you're simply using the search bar or using a SEO tool like Ahrefs. And inside of the SEO tool of your choice for keyword research, what we're going to do is copy the focus keyword and we're going to pump that in here, click search. And all we're doing is looking at the top 10 search results here. And we're just trying to scan their meta titles here. So each one of these blue ones here are meta titles. And we're just seeing if our title here covers the search intent. So Google is awarding these guys the top 10 spots. And why is that? It might be because the meta title is relevant to the actual search term. So if we're looking at local service ads versus Google Ads, why is someone actually typing that into Google? And usually they're trying to look at a comparison or difference of things. So each of these says versus, so each one of these fits the intent well. And you got Reddit, they have a top spot. So I'm going to ignore this, ignore AI overview, ignore that, and then have a look at whatever's ranking organically here. So if we go over to this one here, open that up, it says 5 main differences in 2024. So we can see it's outdated. The year is outdated, so I should probably improve that. I should probably see if I can improve the meta title itself. So I might hit edit post here and go over to this one here for the metadata SOP and see if we can use the GPT below. And then I might reuse this one here. I'll go back to the GPT, pump that in and say, I need to improve this and also use 2026. For the sake of time, I might just choose this one. So we'll copy that and then move that over to here. In the back end of WordPress in the Gutenberg editor, I'm just going to go into my rank math settings, edit snippet, and then we're going to paste these ones in here. I know it's not 2026 yet, but this will future-proof this article at least because it's only a couple of months, right? And then here, I'll just make sure I got the formatting correctly. Okay, that's been updated now. And we'll just check this one. What's the difference? Learn the 5 factors to consider when choosing the best advertising platform for your business. Okay, like that's okay, but it's going over this little pixel limit. Even though the character limit's not over, the pixel limit is. So we might fix this. So I might say learn the 5 things to consider when choosing an advertising platform for your business. Okay, so that's already good. That's good to go. We'll then click save. And so we've updated the first thing. So we'll move on to this next one. Does it link to relevant blogs or landing pages? Okay, so what we can do is we can go through here, just hover over these. So we've got a YouTube video. We've got a blog post here. This looks like an internal one. So it's SEO versus Google Ads, 7 surprising differences. So that's internal. So that's one. We've got what converts. That's a YouTube video. We've got our portfolio, which is actually an old outdated link. So I've got to fix that up and use a current link. Okay, so I'll send people to that new one, and then we'll go through the rest. So I've counted 2, then we've got 3 for local ads here, 4, that's another one, an external link here. So we've got quite a few, and I usually recommend at least 4 internal links and 4 external links. Now that seems fine for now, so we'll move on to the next one at the moment, but usually you use this internal linking SOP, where the GPT here will actually find you relevant internal links on your website if you pump your website in there, and it will read your blog article, like you pump your whole blog article in there, and it'll try to find where to actually place internal links for you. It's pretty cool. I've already covered that in a separate video, also in school here. We'll move on to the next one. So external links, it's the same thing. So if we see that this says, does the content have old stats, screenshots, or examples? And then we've got this one here that says external links. Does it cite actual recent trustworthy sources? These are kind of one of the same except for the screenshots. So the next one here, let's say that you're unhappy with the amount of statistics that's covered in this blog post. So what you might want to do instead is, let's say that we use this blog post, we copy this URL, we open this external link SOP, we open the GPT here, and then what I'll do is say, paste that one in there. I need some relevant external links for this blog post that I have. Now, if that doesn't work because your page isn't indexed on the internet, then what you can do instead is simply paste all your content in there. And if it doesn't think hard enough, like it's not finding good quality links or good quality ideas here, then simply turn on a thinking model. That way that it can use the internet in live time. And the reason for that, if I click on some of these, you might see that they're broken or not actually working, or they're not real. And the reason for that is because we didn't use a thinking model. So I'll use a thinking model and use this exact same thing. And while we wait for this, we're going to go over to our topical map. We're going to find that again. So for the sake of just seeing this one, so I'm not confused, I might simply paste this into the search bar. So this is the only item that I see, so I'm not editing other stuff accidentally. So I'm going to add internal links here, but I might want to comb through that in my spare time, not in this video, because I don't want to take too much time. And then we've got the external links here. So I'm just going to go into here and wait for this to load. So while we wait for this, I might continue and we'll come back to it. So let's go over this one here. Do we need to match the content to today's search engine results page? So what you might find on these top 10, if you go through these, like we'll go through this one here, I think it's a 403 page, maybe it's working now, it's working now. So the idea is you go and open a few competitors that are ranking at the top 10, and you just see any ideas that you are not covering, things that you might find in your blog post that you might cover a little bit of the actual subject matter, but you need to go and find some ideas here so that you can just inject that. And let's say that you found something really cool, like they added a kind of breakdown or a few bullets, or which is better, blah blah blah, so they added that. These guys have FAQs, which is really cool, but the idea is that you would go through this and use the blog post SOPs here. And again, I've got some of these scattered around my YouTube, but if you're in the school community, it's a lot easier because it's all in one place. And then you can go to the content GPT and you can use this to add content based on what you discovered in these other pages here, and you can start to add them inside of your content. So you copy like this section here into ChatGPT and you say, hey, I would like to expand upon this and blah 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 blah. You're giving it ideas and feeding it through. That way that you're expanding the word count and expanding the quality of the content, so it's more helpful for the end user. Also ask it, where do I put this in my blog post? And normally it's actually meant to work straight out of the gate where it tells you where to put it, but in this case it didn't. So it's going to do it again. It's going to tell us exactly where to add these little points. So we'll go back to this list over here. So we've done all of these. So that is now complete. And we'll cover these ones here now until that external links thing has loaded. So this one here, it says, is the page missing important NLP or LSI terms? So these are just certain keywords related to your focus keyword. So if we go back to topical authority and we scroll to the left side, we know that this is our focus keyword, right? So we use something like Surfer SEO or Neuron Writer, which is our one, and we'll use this tool to help find relevant keywords around our focus keyword that I showed you just before. So once we pump in the main keyword into this tool, it will then compare the top 10 search results and show what words they are using on their pages, and then what words we're missing on our page, so that we can at least start to rank for more contextually relevant keywords on the internet around this particular keyword. So I would naturally pump this in and put all my content in. So copy and paste all of this content into Neuron Writer, and it will tell me which words I need to sprinkle through the entire article in a meaningful way. Again, I've got a tutorial on how to do this inside of school, so go check that out. And the next thing is the FAQs. I did promise this, we were going to talk about it, where you can actually inject FAQs into the content. As we saw, this competitor is doing it here, which is an amazing job, because if they're doing it right, and we can see that down here, we'll be able to see that they've got FAQs and they've got a H3 for each different question, which is good practice. Then Then we've got the schema markup. So the schema markup is very easy to find if you've got Rank Math installed. So all we do is go into the Rank Math settings, and then we go over to here, and then we can see schema in use. So it's automatically copied some videos that we have included in the article. So I've got a video here, etc. And it's automatically got that. Now for the article one, this is what we need to edit, right? Because it usually defaults to like news article most of the time, or article. In this case, it's correctly linked to blog post. Normally you don't have to put the keyword and this kind of stuff in here, but I sometimes like to hard code it. Like what I mean by hard code is simply going into the snippet and then copying this and then going back over to here and then paste that in, and likewise do the rest for each of them and save post. That way that's hard coded and there can't be any mistakes dynamically, at least. That's my opinion. So you go and fix up the schema, and we do have a tutorial for schema if you want to add more cool stuff like FAQ schema and all that. Even though Rank Math does it for you, if you don't have Rank Math, then you can simply use our prompts that we have here in a thinking model, and we'll actually tell you how to write the schema properly for both landing pages and also blog posts and things like that. So I know this goes without saying, but you need to update the topical authority map as you're going along. Okay, so if you don't know how to create a topical authority map, I do have a video on YouTube around that. You'll just have to go find it. But inside of school, you'll be able to see how we exactly map all of the keywords to a topical authority map properly. Once you've got that out of the way, while you're actually going through these steps, you need to update the task in the topical authority map. So if we go into the task, I can say something in the subtask and say updated the meta title and description to be more relevant to the current year, and also to increase the CTR, something like that. And I'll hit enter, and then I'll assign myself to that one, and I keep adding the new tasks here. And the beauty of that, once you do that and mark those as complete, it's going to automatically update today's date for the post update, right? So now this is no longer saying February or March or whatever it was, it's now saying today's date, which is really cool. So I can then, move on to the next one. It's all automated. The next one here, the final one, is indexing. Now, before I go over to that, I want to check that this is done. So this is now telling me from the external links where I need to put it. So this is saying after the sentence, you reach local customers, blah, 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 blah. Can you please add this study from Think from Google? So I'm going to go over to my blog post, control find, paste, and then I can see it's here. So what I could do is add that statistic. So I go back over to here, copy this entire thing and paste this in. So we'll add this in, paste that one in like so, and then change a few things. So the first thing we want to do is fact check that this 76% relates to people searching on their smartphone, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so if we go and open this study and then control find 76%, and then we can see 76% of people search on their smartphone related business, 28% result in a purchase. So it looks related to what that is. That's great. That's the first check you do. Change percentage to percent symbol, and then also edit the link here. So this link here actually contains a ChatGPT at the end. So get rid of that, right? Like so, and then open a new tab. Make sure it always opens a new tab. Click save. Now we've got that statistic there. And this is not just theory either, because Google found that somebody was blah, 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 smartphone for something, which exactly the kind of high intent behavior local search ads are built to capture. Okay, it's okay. It's a bit of a lengthy sentence, more than I would like. So if we go here, you already need your help. I would just get rid of that. Google found that blah, 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 something related to, I would just tidy up on it. But you can see how it works, right? You just pepper through relevant studies, etc. Now, if we go back to that final step, we've got the indexing SOP. So I've got this video on YouTube where basically all you need to do from here, once you've gone through all the changes, you made some meaningful updates, then what you can do is save it, of course. And then as long as you've made meaningful updates, you can simply copy the URL, go to your Search Console account, and in Search Console, make sure you're on your domain, and then paste the URL in like so, and then hit enter. And then you're going to just ask Google to re-index it because you've made some changes, right? So you click on the request indexing. Now, in this case, I would recommend wait till you've injected a few sections, added new stuff, added meaningful stats, all that kind of stuff. And once you've made those meaningful changes, then re-index it, right? And then you go back to your topical authority map, you start adding the neuron writer score. Maybe you got a 78 out of 100 or whatever. And then you say, okay, well, I edited the schema, I added external links, and just make sure you check all this kind of stuff. Then you go back into that task here. If you're on my team, you track your time, and then you mark all those subtasks that you did as complete as you go. And that's it, right? Rinse and repeat. It is boring, but it's effective and it works. So I hope that helps, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.